We promised 10 o'clock, and that's exactly what we do, because Danielle is the type of person that is always on time. Welcome. We are with Rock Royalty today, and actually a person that I spent some time in my childhood with, but only by a 45 or an album, because my sister had your album. Let's say good morning to Roger Boyd from Head East, who's coming to town, and we'll talk more about that. Good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. Good morning, Scott. It's great to be with you, and really looking forward to the concert at RiverEdge next week.
Where are you connecting to us from? Where are you at today?
I'm halfway between Carbondale and St. Louis, outside of a small town called Sparta. We have 250 acres down here, and it's when I'm on the road, it's wild and crazy and lots of people and fun. And when I'm off the road, I like a lot of peace and quiet.
So are you still in the state of Illinois, or?
Yes, yeah, I am. I've always, in fact, this place was homesteaded by my family in 1835. And so I bought some extra land beside the original homestead. But
wow, do you have running water?
Yeah. I lived outside Chicago, lived in Los Angeles, and lived in Boulder and Colorado, but Southern Illinois is a great place to at this point in my life and my career.
Before we even get too far into the conversation, we should say, the reason we're connecting with Roger is because he's going to be a part of a huge show sold out at RiverEdge Park in Aurora, July 1st, REO Speedwagon with special guest Head East. We were talking to the folks that we know over at the park, and they were so happy to see that there's so many people excited about REO Speedwagon, but there's so many people excited about Head East coming. And, unfortunately, if people waited to get tickets, they're sold out.
Yeah, too late.
Yeah, that was really exciting to hear. Selling out to a couple weeks in advance is always a great thing. And it's nice to be with REO. In fact, we're doing a bunch of shows with REO here the next couple of weeks over the 4th of July weekend and everything. But we go back. Both of us, of course, came out of the Champaign, Illinois, University of Illinois club scene, and we've known each other for 50 years. So it's always great to get together.
That's amazing. And if anybody, by the way, wants to give a shout out to Roger or has a question for him about him or Head East, just drop it in the comments on our Facebook or YouTube page, and we'll be able to feature those on the screen. So if you have a question for him, just drop it in the comments and we can feature it.
So Roger, why was it always confusing that you were actually from St. Louis? Is that where you broke?
No, actually we broke we first played August 6, 1969 in Carbondale and got really hot. And then the next year, we broke wide open out of Champaign. And so when we did Flat as a Pancake, which we did ourselves, we put up our own money. We had our own record label, 5,000 albums, 508 tracks. And it started breaking out of St. Louis. KC Radio, Shelley Grafman loved the album. And FM radio was just coming into its own. And he broke us wide open. And so management-wise, we went with Contemporary Productions because they could put us on some shows right away while we were trying to sign to a bigger label, which we did, A&M Records. So we really moved to St. Louis because it was easier to get in and out, easier to get flights, and that's where our management was. But everybody in the band except for, Mike Somerville and John Schlitt were both from Central Illinois, from Peoria and Mount Pulaski. But the rest of us were all within 45 or 50 miles of St. Louis, so it was kind of a home area. But we were never a St. Louis band, so it was always odd.
Roger, how do you feel when you think about the difference between breaking as a band back when you were doing it to breaking as a band nowadays, where you have people on TikTok and Instagram and what are your thoughts on that and how different it is?
My thoughts are I wouldn't be in the music business.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Because Scott and I were talking, all three of us were talking, but as Scott was pointing out, everybody's breaking out through the internet or through TV or everything else. First of all, I was never necessarily going to be in the music business, but I loved doing it. And when I was going to the university and left the university to keep playing because I just enjoyed it so much. And in the 70s, of course, you were right in the middle of what was happening in the country with all the changes that were going on. And that was the golden age. I call it the golden age of rock, like they call the golden age of movie. It was just great. We played with everybody else in the business at the time. And
you can't slide just over that like that. You got to tell me a few of the people that you played with, because I was born in '61, so your music came when I was about 14 years old, and my sister had your album. Listened to it over and over again, and I love Never Been Any Reason. It takes me right back to that house in Chesterfield, New Hampshire, where I grew up.
Absolutely. Well, like when we just got off the Rock Legends cruise right before everything got shut down because of COVID. You know, we were there with Roger Daltrey, who was a great guy from The Who, and Nancy Wilson from The Heart, Mark Farner from Grand Funk, and Roger from the band. Now I can't. Now
what was the name? What was the name?
Roger Daltrey from The Who, lead singer for The Who. And then
no, you said you couldn't remember someone, the band.
Oh, Roger from Supertramp.
Oh yeah, Roger.
Can't think of his last name.
No, I can't either. Now that you said it.
But in the days, you know, everything from Queen to Aerosmith and everybody. When we played the Texas Jam, it was like Aerosmith and Nugent and Eddie Money and Van Halen and us. And that was still the biggest show we've ever played. That was 104,000 people.
But we're able to name drop like that. Like, that's awesome that you just have had such a wonderful career and worked with so many wonderful people, and to be able to spout off names like that just is a true testament to how great Head East is, and the journey that you guys have taken.
Well, we've always been more of a live band, which is another reason why I necessarily wouldn't be as enamored with the music business today. Playing live was really our forte, much more than, we recorded in the studio and did some really wonderful recordings, but there's nothing better than being on stage playing a live show. And we don't ever use that. Everything we do is live as it's coming out. You know, nothing's pre-recorded. We don't play with anything pre-recorded. And, that's not where the business is today. Very few of the bands still just jump up and play. And that's what you used to have to do back in those days. And which meant you had to have some expertise at your craft. And that mix of everybody playing together is when you lock in, you just can't beat it. It's so special. Like hitting a big home run out of Wrigley Field.
Well, I had to look it up. Roger Hodgson.
Roger Hodgson.
Yeah, it was driving me nuts because I should know his name. I knew he was touring solo. And
I should love too, because we were, of course, Supertramp was on A&M Records. So I kind of knew him, but he really didn't do too much Supertramp stuff when he was on the cruise, which was a little surprising. He's kind of doing some other things these days.
Nothing worse than an artist playing their new stuff and not playing some of their old anyway.
Oh, you can't. People come to hear the old stuff. Even Elton John said you can't do more than 2 or 3 new songs in a show, which is about what we do, about 3 for the most part. But people, it's just like going to see Phantom of the Opera. People go see Phantom of the Opera 4, 5, 6 times. It's like, not like they don't know how it ends and how it goes. People want to do like you did, do Scott. Every time you hear "Never Been Any Reason," it just takes you back to Chesterfield in those days, and that's so you really want to do a lot of that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a lot of stuff off of Flat and off the Double Live album, and then we'll throw in a couple new ones here and there.
That's awesome. So when you think about the span of Head East and how you guys have kind of maybe morphed a little bit, you've been part of the glue that has held everything together over the years. And do you think the reason people still love coming to see you is because they appreciate the fact that you guys really in your roots are a live band and you like to stick to what you do best and what you do well? Do you think that, true music fans really appreciate that?
Well, I think so. And we're picking up new fans. There's more and more of the younger generation that's getting their parents' old albums and CDs, and they're going, "Oh wow, this is pretty good stuff." We're fun, and our shows are fun, and our songs are fun, and they're uplifting. We're not a thrash and trash kind of band. That's not what we do. And people come to concerts to jump back in time, to remember good days, to forget about, everybody wants to get out now and forget about the last 15 months. I mean, it's been brutal for everybody. And so they want to come out and have a good time and celebrate. And that is what we do. And the band now, these guys have been with me for 14 years. And Darren Walker, who's our lead singer, could be John Schlitt's twin. I mean, they sound identical. Even I can't always tell the difference. And everybody sings. So the band now for the last 14 years basically sounds exactly the way the band did when we were back in the 70s. And so that's what people want. They want you to sound the same. They want you to be fun. They want to hear those songs. They want to talk to you. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the COVID about meeting and greeting quite as much. We'll have to see a little bit, but in the past we've always signed autographs after the shows and everything, and it's what people want to do.
You ever look over your shoulder and think John is singing?
No, because they're pushed. In fact, I was just doing some video work on with John for a little thing he's putting together, but their personalities are different. The feel around them is a little different. And I know there's some idiosyncrasies that I can pick up, but we did some 50th anniversary shows right before COVID went down and right before Mike Somerville passed away, which was really good to get him out again, where everybody was all together again. And
awesome.
That was really interesting, having Steve and John and Mike on stage at the same time with all my guys now. It was really special.
Now, am I right? You're a teacher or professor or something along those lines?
I taught for 13 years. In fact, when I went to college in the 60s, before I dropped out to do rock and roll, I was going to get my PhD back then. I always wanted to teach in college. But I thought rock and roll was a lot more fun than studying calculus at the university. And so I dropped out, and I did not go back to school until 1995.
Wow.
I am so amazed when I hear about like true rockers that are also super intelligent. Like you hear about Brian May, and even hearing your story as well. I find it so intriguing that you have that creativity to you, to have the musical talents that you do, but also being super smart. You're the total package.
Well, thank you very much. That's very nice.
I got into radio because I'm as dumb as a rock. So, and I just like 70s music. So that's was all about.
I'm sure you're quite special in what you do.
Oh yeah, that would be one way of putting it. So you were talking about the younger audience, and I know throughout the years you were in the movie Sahara. They used a clip of your song, that 70s show, and also Friday Night Lights.
Yes. Well, the big one actually is Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah, Dazed and Confused too. I saw that one. Yeah.
That is right up there with the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
As far as being a cult classic that will be around forever.
Right.
But we've been, it's been really nice. They've used Never Been Any Reason in a number of films and TV shows, and we just got contacted again about trying to use it for another movie that's coming up. So especially Flat as a Pancake, the songs off of Flat as a Pancake, that was such a special album, and they have really been able to stand the test of time. That's unusual.
What's the longest break you've taken on tour? The band?
The COVID.
That's it. So you've been playing since 75 straight out?
No, since 1969.
That's what I meant.
We didn't record. Flat as a Pancake wasn't released until 75. But like a lot of other acts, including REO, who were playing with, etc., you spend about 3 or 4 years we used to call them copy bands. Today, they call them tribute bands. Well, hell, it's copy band. We just used to do a lot of stuff. So you spend 3 or 4 years of getting your teeth cut on everybody else's material and getting your chops together. And that was one of the things that made Champaign Urbana special, because there was a lot of similarities between the music scene in Champaign and in San Francisco, where all the West Coast bands came out of, because you had 3 or 4 nightclubs where you could play 6 or 7 nights a week and get your stuff together. And so you did cover stuff. You know, we started doing Crosby, Stills and Nash and Three Dog Night and all that singing stuff, and then gradually started working in 1 or 2 of your own songs as you wrote them, and honed your skills on them, and saw how the crowd reacted to them. And we were able to do that in Champaign-Urbana. So us and REO and Dan Fogelberg were the 3 acts that were able to go national.
I can only imagine how much you guys have been itching to get back out on the road and get back to doing what you guys do best. And to give you a heads up of what you can expect for your show at RiverEdge Park in Aurora on July 1st. We talked a little bit about this before we went live too. It's such a beautiful venue. And you have the Fox River right there. And so a little bit of a breeze coming off. Some people will be riding their little canoes past and bopping along to the music. And it's just, the downtown Aurora area is just so vibrant and multicultural. And it's such a cool place to see a show. And I'm sure that you've seen some really cool venues before. And I'm sure that this one will be one that you'll remember for sure.
So that's Roger Boyd. Yeah.
We'll add it to the list, but yeah, the Fox River country is pretty anyway. That's a pretty river. But yes, I've heard we have some good friends up there that have been friends for a long time, and they were talking about how nice RiverEdge is, and so it's going to be real exciting. And us and RA are really good friends. The kind of songs we do match up really well. And once again, as we were talking earlier, I mean, the show's been sold out for a while, so that speaks a lot about the excitement of the fans that are going to be coming to the show.
Well, I did see that later on down the road, you're going to be playing with Blue Oyster Cult and then Styx in another show down the road. So if people did not get tickets to this one, there are more REO concerts with you guys that they could travel a little bit and see. You're going to find that it's kind of a throwback. No one goes to RiverEdge Park unless they want to hear the music. And that's what I love, is they appreciate why they're there.
Well, that's what it's all about. And again, that's right in our wheelhouse, because playing live is what we do best, what we love best. I mean, we've always been considered one of the best live bands in the country, touring all the time, and especially one of the best live bands with all the vocals that we have. There's, maybe the Doobie Brothers could sing, sing as much as we do, but there's very few bands that sing with all the harmony that we do. And so
there's no question, in some of the reviews that I looked back at, is that was one of the first thing they said was your perfect harmonies.
Pretty good. Our blend has always been extra special.
What do you have in your coffee? Whiskey?
No, not this morning, but been known to do that. But just straight coffee this morning.
Maybe afternoon he'll do that. But Roger Boyd, Head East, we are so excited for your show with REO Speedwagon at RiverEdge Park in Aurora. And actually, since the show is sold out, I think one of the only ways that you can get tickets is all this week. In the afternoon, our afternoon drive guy around 3:40 has tickets. And I think those are like the last tickets available to the show. So make sure that you're listening to Mitch all this week in the afternoon. And Roger, thank you for taking time to talk with us. We can't wait for the show.
Well, I can't wait to get up there and play. Looking forward to seeing both of you in person. Now we've had this chance to talk. It's been a real treat and a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. It's really nice to be on when you can talk about the show being sold out, as opposed to back when on shows where the promoters call and go, "Could you do a bunch of interviews and see if you can't help move tickets along?"
Now there's no pressure. We could just talk and not have to sell tickets, right?
No pressure. That's right. Just enjoy talking about the music and all the wonderful folks that stay tuned to the river. So, as Danielle was just telling you, the only way you get tickets is tune in this afternoon, see if you can win some. And really looking forward to seeing both you, Scott, and Danielle, and really appreciate you having me on.
And before we let you go, can you just swing your camera a little bit to show the other 2 albums up on your wall as we say goodbye?
Oh, well, I got more than 2. We got pictures, we got albums and pictures, and then Go Record way over on the other wall.
Oh, there's that's a gold record, right?
Yeah, I know, and they haven't sent me my platinum one yet either, so I could have that up there. But,
that's a 1978 gold record.
There you go. And yeah, this is our little office that we just added to the farm not too long ago. So, but still enjoy playing. But when you were asking me, yes, I have played the whole time since 1969, and this was the first. This past year, last summer was the first summer since '69 that I haven't been out on the road playing music, and boy, was that weird.
Well, a lot of people are glad you're back. Get those keyboard fingers warmed up, and we'll see you on stage in Aurora.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Roger.